watchers, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today is going to be a quick review of this debut piece from Conker Watches. Now, Conker is started by a guy called Kim Sing Rai. Why did I decide to review this piece? You may wonder. It's because I reckon he's a decent guy, just trying to make his way. And, I hope that he will come up with some great pieces in the future. This is an introductory piece. Now, I think it is actually a relatively safe piece, and we'll get into that, but I do wish him all the best for the future. I'm not going to go into the details of the company. You can check out the links if you wish to find out more. So guys, what we have in hand is the blue colored version of the Conker Vichy automatic watch. This is an automatic version, and introductory Kickstarter price will be $389 USD. There is a quartz version which is somewhat thinner, and it's going to go for $199 USD on Kickstarter. Okay, so those are the variations that this is going to come in. Now, first up, as always, let's just talk quickly about the movement. I'm just going to put it on the left here, Miyota 9015, which you have seen many, many times before. Rated accuracy, as you can see there. Now, performance on this prototype is pretty good, running at about +4 a day. In the week I've had this running is actually very, very good regulation for a prototype. In terms of the complication of the quick set dates, implemented here at the 3 o'clock position, black writing on white disk. So just the default disk on, kind of that bordered window, which is pretty nice little touch there. Now, case-wise, not going to kind of read out all the dimensions, just going to put it down here for you guys to see. Okay, all the case dimensions, including the thickness that you can see there. Right, overall weight 148 grams adjusted with about 3 links that I've removed. And yes, there is no packaging that have been provided by this prototype, hence there is no box spin on this video. Apologies for that. Right, moving on to the finishing, right, polished pattern bezel, and hopefully you can see the patterning there on the bezel there. Let me know if you have a word for that. I don't know what word you would use to describe that, but it's a bit different, and I quite like that. Right, so it's polished with that patterning, longitudinal brushing on the top and sides there, circular brushing on the bottom surface of the lugs. Now that pattern kind of goes on to the case back. You can see that same pattern around the periphery as on the bezel, and most of the case back is polished with display on the middle and then details around the side. And it's a fairly plain looking e-Bosch Miyota there. In the production version, I hope they would go on to finish that rotor with a bit more design. I expect them to do that. Okay, so a screw down case back with screw down sign crown, again with that pattern motif carrying on, which is nice. There's a bit of unity here. 100 meter is the water resistant rating that they've gone for. So kind of an explorer style everyday watch functionality is what this is going to give you. Moving on to the dial then. So what we have here, sunburst blue, right, printed details. It's got a bit of azurage texture around the periphery where the indices are. The chapter ring is printed and is on the flange of this watch. And then you have applied multifaceted indices. So a bit of work has gone into the indices here, as well as an applied logo at the 12 o'clock position. The hands are fairly simple baton. I guess there's a little bit of facets on them as well, polished finishing. And the lume on this watch is on the 2 main hands and the indices, or at least the 11 visible indices, not the logo, of course, in this case. Lume shot right here for you guys to see how it looks like in the dark naturally. Right, on top of the dial is a domed sapphire crystal, not super lightly domed, actually fairly decently domed there. Right, and just in terms of, just to point out, the thickness that they stipulated was 11 millimeters, but that's if you just take the bezel. The dome actually adds a full millimeter to take it to 12 millimeter on the thickness there. Moving on to the bracelet then. So what we have here, 3-piece per link, solid end links that you can see there. It's got longitudinal brushing on the sides and a polished center link, and some people might not like that, but that's what it has. Push pin adjustment, okay, so no screw links on this one. The bracelet does taper from 20 to 18 millimeters, and the class is solid and machined, and it's actually a full 21mm wide push button release with 6-point micro adjustment there on the clasp here, and reasonably solid keeper. All right, guys, that's it. That's the entire description. Let's snap it on the wrist now for a wrist shot. And there we have it, the Concovici on my 17cm wrist. So remember, 12mm full thickness and a lug-to-lug distance of a very decent or kind of moderate 48mm there, right, on this 41mm diameter case. That's how it looks like with that bracelet. Okay, that's the entire description, guys. What are my thoughts about this? Honestly, I think we're getting fair quality and specifications at the introductory price. $389 for Miyota 9000 with the quality that's gone into this, which is modest, decent. Nothing that's hit out of the park, but it's decent for the price. That's what I think that you're going to get for $389. The quartz for $190 cheaper at introduction price may be more compelling because it's about a millimeter thinner, and really about half the price. Maybe some people, if you don't mind quartz for this design, that may be more compelling. Overall, I think it appears to be a perfectly competent daily wearer with original design. That this entire design, this is not homaging anything directly. It definitely doesn't copy anything directly. And the bezel itself, I guess you might say, is the most original bit. I haven't seen that bezel before. You might have. Let me know if you've seen that before. What are the weaknesses? What are my concerns? I think I would say overall, there's no particular single aspect that is absolutely groundbreaking. Yes, that bezel is original as far as I'm concerned, but everything else is relatively generic. It's stuff that you've kind of seen before. So overall, it kind of fits that fine, mark. It gets across the mark there, it gets across the line, but there's nothing that is hit out of the park. I think at full MSRP, whatever that will be, it likely will struggle in market. So realistically, I think the introductory price is what people may expect to pay and what they may expect to sell this for. I do wish Kim all the best for the future, and I look forward to what he comes up with next. Okay, guys, so that's the quickfire review. Let's flip it around now for the wrap up. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that quick fire review. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Always look forward to the discussion from my viewers. Guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time.